स्टार्ट करते हैं। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। उमर, आप आज का सेशन जो है वो लीड कर रहे हैं, तो प्लीज टेक द फ्लोर टू प्रेजेंट।
बहुत शुक्रिया। लेट मी स्टार्ट शेयरिंग।
एक मिनट, आप शेयर कर सकते हैं।
अच्छा, यहाँ ऑप्शन नज़र नहीं आ रही थी मुझे। शेयर स्क्रीन। कैन यू सी माय स्क्रीन?
यस,
बिल्कुल।
हाँ जी। तो मैं मेरे घर में जो सेटअप है, आई जस्ट वांटेड टू एक्सप्लेन यू दैट इन दिस सेशन. तो आई एम यूजिंग मेनली होम असिस्टेंट, व्हिच इज एन open source home automation platform. और ये आप you can install it on Raspberry Pi, VM, और there are multiple options there. Even अगर आपके पास कोई VMware virtual machines type of setup है, you can install it there as well. लेकिन mainly people use it, people install it on Raspberry Pi. There are 3 options available as of now. आप जा सकते हैं इस, by the way, किसी यहाँ पे किसने यूज किया अभी तक होम असिस्टेंट, और देयर नो यूजर्स एट ऑल?
थोड़ा बहुत खेला है।
खेला हुआ है?
बिल्कुल।
अच्छा,
लास्ट फ्यू वीक्स।
और देयर मल्टीपल फ्लेवर्स फॉर दैट. एक ये है कि आप HasIO है, इट्स काइंड ऑफ OS is mainly controlled by Home Assistant, और उस and it's dockerized. तो आपको एक्सेस, बहुत रूट लेवल एक्सेस आपको नहीं दी जाएगी. यू ओनली हैव लाइक अ लिमिटेड एक्सेस. इवन SSH के लिए भी आपने एक और डॉकर कंटेनर इंस्टॉल करना पड़ता है उसके लिए. तो इट्स यू गेट लिमिटेड एक्सेस, बट देन यू गेट अ UI, और UI के using the UI you can install multiple applications, और इंटीग्रेशन आप UI से ही कर सकते हैं. तो have you used HasIO? Or the other option is, by the way, using just a Python application. So any server, any system having Python installed, you can install on Home Assistant there. So that's another option. लेकिन जो मैं use कर रहा हूँ, I'm using it as a Docker container. So I have multiple Docker containers, and one of the Docker container is Home Assistant. तो आपने इसमें से कौन सा यूज किया हुआ है?
मैंने पहले डॉकर किया, फिर मुझे डॉकर की कुछ समझ नहीं आई, तो फिर मैंने कहा ये भाड़ में जाए, तो फिर I ran it as a Python application, and mine currently running on my machine is a Python application.
अच्छा, Python. I mean it makes sense. लेकिन फिर उसमें automatically restarting, अगर आपकी machine restart होती है, तो then you need to manage all these things.
यार I'm a Linux guru, so I can do that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean you can do that. There are ways. Initially I started with that. So this is like low I don't know, resistance to entry. I don't know if that's the correct expression, but ये
low barrier to entry.
Start करते हैं.
Yeah,
barrier,
exactly. Low barrier to entry. That's fine.
Low barrier to entry. So this is this is the way forward. अगर आपने experiment करना है, तो just use this Python application. Just use pip install, I think, Home Assistant. So just one command and you'll have Home Assistant installed. तो मैंने भी इसी से start किया था. Then I switched to HasIO, but then recently I switched to Docker approach. So I've used all these different options that are available, and you can always go there and look at the documentation. Quick questions?
नहीं, all good.
Okay. Docker का किसका experience है यहाँ पे?
मेरा नहीं है भाई.
Docker के साथ
सुनना है,
अच्छा,
confusing है, तो अभी तक मैंने छोड़ा हुआ है.
अच्छा. तो अच्छा, I'll cover that. I have a slide for that as well. अभी मेरे home assistant setup के अंदर, I mean it can integrate with multiple smart home devices. तो इसमें से Alexa है, Echo भी है, ESP Home है अगर you are a fan of ESP, Google Assistant, multiple options are available. Majority जो लोग use करते हैं, they use it with IFTT. So IFTT is आपका, have you used IFTT before or no?
Just barely.
Okay, so IFTT provides you an interface, so it has many more integrations available. So if this then that, it's kind of a logic. If this then that, IFTT. In this case, so there are multiple integrations available. So Home Assistant integrates with IFTT, but then IFTT has a lot of other integrations available. So in that case, अगर कोई integration available नहीं है by default in Home Assistant, you can always use IFTT. और ये तो मैंने जो top most used integrations हैं उसकी तस्वीर आपको यहाँ पे दिखा रहा हूँ. But there are like numerous, I don't know, maybe hundreds of other integrations already available. I'm using Philip Hue. I'm using Google Cast, Google Assistant, Alexa, Eco bhi to nahi, MQTT I'm using, yeah, and Zigbee as well. Questions?
Not really.
अच्छा, मैं साथ साथ फिर इंटीग्रेट कर रहा हूँ इनफ्लक्स डीबी के साथ भी. मतलब आई एम सेंडिंग द मैट्रिक्स जो भी घर में हो रहा है, जो भी सेंसर्स हैं, कुछ भी जो घर में चल रहा है, एवरीथिंग इज बीइंग सेंट आउट टू इनफ्लक्स डीबी. For example, switches, changing the state from on to off to on, मेरी illumination कितनी है घर में, and things like that. So I'm sending everything to InfluxDB, and then using that information, this can act as a data source to Grafana. So Grafana, it's kind of InfluxDB is a database, time series database, but then Grafana uses that database, the time series database, and it can create charts, graphs, or you can also create alerts as well. For example, agar weather, for example, it's going in negative, it can send you an alert that, hey, abhi freezing temperature chal raha hai, things like that. I mean, I'm just giving an example. I'll show I'll show the dashboard as well, which I have currently. So it's just not, मैंने बहुत कम चीजें डाली हैं, but you can add many other things based on your use case.
So this is मैं आजकल अपना रूम्बा चला रहा हूँ होम असिस्टेंट के थ्रू.
Oh, that's perfect. That's also integrated. Yes,
exactly.
that's मतलब आप ये कर सकते हैं कि schedule कर सकते हैं उसको कि इस टाइम स्टार्ट हो जाए, या फिर आप प्रेजेंट स्पेस भी कर सकते हैं कि when no one is at home, start cleaning the house. So you can add a lot of different rules there. Any questions? No.
All good.
Okay, I have a question. For example, मेरे घर में लगा हुआ है Honeywell का thermostat, smart thermostat.
I think that's also supported.
Okay, Honeywell की एप्लीकेशन से होता है, मैं उसको अपना प्रोग्राम कर सकता हूँ एप्लीकेशन फेंक के.
क्वेश्चन रिपीट करें.
Okay, Honeywell का थर्मोस्टेट लगा हुआ है और उसकी एक ऐप है, मैं उस ऐप से उसको मैनेज करता हूँ, ऑन ऑफ वगैरह कर सकता हूँ. अगर मैं ये इंटीग्रेशंस करूँ, आई विल हैव फुल फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी कि मैं उसको खुद स्केड्यूल करूँ इस वक्त एयर कंडीशनिंग ऑन हो ऑफ हो, मच मोर देन the options that are available from Honeywell. Okay.
Exactly. Or plus, like Home Assistant can integrate with many other sensors or things like that. For example, आप ये कर सकते हैं कि when जब आपने, for example, यहाँ पे एक Plex integration भी है. For example, if you're playing any movie, तो change the temperature. I mean, I'm just giving an example. So you can do this kind of integration. और app में तो सिर्फ आप उसको temperature setting change कर सकते हैं, maybe presence भी कर सकते होंगे. लेकिन then, based on all these different sensors or integrations, you can create additional rules.
Okay.
समझे?
ठीक है.
ये मेरा architecture है घर में. Of course, there is a router there. और router, Raspberry Pi और मेरा NAS. I have it plugged to my UPS. It's I think it's like $50-60 UPS that I bought. लेकिन उसका फायदा ये इनिशियली क्या हो रहा था कि जब लाइट कभी जाती थी, once in a blue moon जाती थी, लेकिन हमेशा जब भी गई है लाइट तो it corrupted my Raspberry Pi. That was for like 99%. I was sure that it was going to corrupt my Raspberry Pi. I don't know, for some odd reason. मैंने उसका SD card भी change किया, used the best available with good reviews. लेकिन even then it was getting corrupted. अगर पहली दफा नहीं हो रहा था, दूसरी दफा अगर लाइट जाती थी तो it was corrupting it. It caused me a lot of trouble. मेरे ख्याल से within the last 4 years, मेरे ख्याल से around 3 दफा तो मेरा कार्ड करप्ट हुआ है. तो then I have to redo everything. So to एक ये चीज, और दूसरा ये है कि before UPS I bought a NAS just for to have local storage. मेरे photos वगैरह और सारा कुछ I'm managing everything on my NAS. लेकिन at the same time I can run Docker on this. Or when I'm running Docker on this, apart from this, before that, all my data remains here. So I can mount my volumes on my Raspberry Pi, and then I use whatever I can. If, for example, light chali jati hai, all my data is still here, right? So it's secured, और यहाँ पे मेरी high availability भी है, and I have multiple disks available. एक disk फारे होगी, तो then you have another disk available. So things like that. So that's why I chose to go with NAS, and it solved some problem which I was facing. Like now I at this stage, I was not getting all my data corrupted, right? So that was one aspect. But corruption to फिर भी हो रही थी. मतलब the OS level corruption, it was corrupted, but then I had to reinstall everything and then remount this volume, and everything worked fine. But I was wasting one day each time that happened. So that's why I invested in like $60, I think $60 or $80 UPS from Cyber Power, I guess. So I invested in that, and now I have like at least, the light goes, so I have the opportunity to gracefully shut down my Raspberry Pi. And NAS has an integration with UPS, so I bought Synology NAS. It's an expensive NAS, but so far I'm really happy with its performance. लेकिन उसका फायदा ये होता है कि whenever light जाती है, तो whenever this is on low battery, it will send a signal to my NAS, and then NAS can gracefully shut down before this goes out of power. And my router, my Raspberry Pi, and my NAS, all three of these critical functions of my home are, in fact, Philips Hue Hub as well. So all these are part of those are connected to UPS. Any questions?
Oh, I have so many. I don't want to hold all the time. जब Synology NAS ली, तो did you consider QNAP or something else yourself, like building your own NAS?
I considered building my own, लेकिन उसमें effort कुछ ज़्यादा थी.
It's very expensive.
It's very expensive. It's like maybe 10 to 20 times more expensive than building my own. So लेकिन इसमें फिर then it's managed, the OS is managed, software is managed. I don't need to worry about the different applications. So everything it's managed, or there is like frequent software upgrades as well. It's a different experience. Kind of. If you don't want to spend energy and time, then you can invest in.
Because I'm exactly at this stage now. I am considering a NAS. एक जो चीज मेरा है वो I want surveillance. So is Synology good enough for surveillance also? Like video?
Yes.
Okay.
There is a use case for that as well. Yes.
Okay. और UPS का मैं बाद में पूछ लूंगा. It's not on my top list.
There's a question. अब आपने वो security camera की बात की, लेकिन other than the fact that you want to try it out for your own purposes, but financially, does it make sense to go down that route? Because I'm thinking that there's a cheaper solution out there in the market for surveillance. Or are we getting some extra value add by going down this route?
Surveillance, there's always a cheaper option available, right? So you can have your own laptop and you can connect multiple disks to it. You can create RAID. You can set up RAID on across those disks, and you can use that as your kind of disk for storing your videos for surveillance purposes, right? So you can use that, but लेकिन उसमें फिर effort और energy वाला component भी है. I'm not sure if you can get the cheaper NAS.
I mean,
managed.
How much was the one you got, and like what were the specs?
Yeah, there are multiple options. So it starts with 2 ports. So मैंने जो लिया मैंने 4 ports वाला लिया जिसमें I can plug in 4 different disks.
ठीक.
It costed me around $800 or $900. So it is expensive. It is expensive. लेकिन अभी तक जो मेरा उसका जो use हो रहा है, and my photos are all there. I have around right now just 2 disks plugged, so it's around 4 terabytes that are available to me. Or it's doing the RAID functionality on its own. Like it was like kind of plug and play.
You have it. You have it replicating right now over the 2 drives.
Yes.
Oh, good.
It's in high availability. तो अगर एक fail होता है तो दूसरा will take care of it. So I mean, to me, I mean there are cheaper options available even in Synology. So मैंने तो 4 ports वाला लिया था. So then you can also get like 2 ports as well. I think that will cost you around. I think it starts from around $500 or $400. So
उसका software भी तो the software is what you're really paying for, right? The different components. Surveillance का software उनका अपना है.
I think I have. So this is what I have. So this is the interface. So when you install it, you see home nas.local, and this is the port for this, and there are multiple options available. So let's start with so we have, like, for example, applications called like download station. So you can download your torrents using this, right? So, and then you have option of creating your own Git server there. You can also install virtual machine manager here. So I'm using one virtual machine there, right? And you can monitor how the CPU and everything. You can you can run your Docker containers here. So I have all my Dockers running here. And of course, file station as well. Like all your data is here backed up, and even if I'm using Raspberry Pi, my volume is here, and it's Docker is just using that volume. और इसके अलावा, and I get notifications as well. और plus UPS के साथ integration भी है कि whenever it's going low battery, it will automatically gracefully shut it down. Or automatically you can take backups as well. I think it should be somewhere. And it has this, before that, it has a quick connect functionality. So you can connect using your mobile phone. It kind of creates a connection between, it's not sending out any data, but it creates kind of a connection between your phone, internet world, and your device. And what else? So there's a backup functionality. And yeah, it can work on SMB, AFP, NFS. So that, like, it can run on multiple protocols, FTP as well, rsync. And where was so this is the external access that I was talking about. There we go.
Restore में तो नहीं, update and restore ये system के अंदर.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a different application. Okay, let's go there. Yeah, you need to install a package for that. So it's Cloud Sync, right? So Cloud Sync, it can integrate with AWS. So S3 storage के साथ आप अपना जो critical folders हैं उसको आप synchronize कर सकते हैं. You can have any other cloud integration, even Google Drive as well. So you can move your important files. Even you're doing high availability, everything is going fine, but still, I mean, it can fail, right? So God forbid, मतलब वो भी हो सकता है, fire लग सकती है आपके घर में, things like that. So you can sync your important data to the cloud as well. So multiple features available. I mean, वही बात है कि I mean, this is fully like it's turnkey solution. Everything is available for you. You don't, like, it's plug and play. So I just plugged it and then everything started running, and I just installed my Docker and virtual machine and things like that. So it's your decision. I mean, it depends. The decision depends on you.
And what is the storage size for the NAS?
I have 4 slots available. So right now, I think it's 4.
But I think each of those ports can accommodate like 4 terabyte if you want it.
Exactly.
So you
4 or even 8 terabytes, right?
So you can have. शुरू हो गई है.
Okay.
So it's basically up to you कि आप शुरू करें 2 terabyte की ले लें या 4 terabyte की ले लें, and then you
मैंने
can.
4 की 2 ली हुई हैं, 4 I think so.
अच्छा,
so 4 हैं, तो it's in RAID. So at the end of the day, I'm getting 4 क्योंकि वो replicate कर रहा है आपस में.
और VPN I'm sure होगा.
VPN नहीं है.
नहीं है?
पास VPN
नहीं. But can you, like, does the system support it?
Oh yes, it can support VPN. It can support DNS भी आप इस पे launch कर सकते हैं अपना on DNS server. So there are multiple packages are available.
नहीं, but you mentioned torrents, so that's why.
Torrent is really good. I mean, you can create a folder जो कि आप shared folder होगा, जो कि you can mount it on your laptop, for example. You put a text file there and add the URL for the torrent, and it will automatically download it for you. Wow. And if you have Plex integration, you'll automatically see whenever it's downloaded. You'll see. So I have Plex installed as well on my Synology.
So you're running this on Synology and not on your Raspberry Pi.
Yeah. So this design, this was before. So I changed the design now. So since I had a few Docker containers, like for example, the database was here, my Grafana was here, Influx Db was here, only Home Assistant was here. Achha. But recently I changed, I even moved this outside of Raspberry Pi. Everything is now on NAS now.
Okay.
So I have all my Docker containers here.
So Home Assistant is installed as a Docker container on the NAS now.
Yes, it's here. You see, Synology. And how I'm installing it, I can show that to you if you're interested, but I'm using Docker Compose. So it's just one file. Maybe I can show if I'm logged in. Okay.
Good to know that this all works on a Mac.
Yeah, I'm using it for SSH. Synology. So you see this one file, right? So this is my whole stack. So if I change anything, so I can show it to you. No.
Cat.
I don't like it. Right. So you see, Nginx is here, Grafana is here, and Influx DB is here, MariaDB is here, and these are all my volumes which I mounted on my Synology.
Okay.
Right. So all these different volumes are here. MQTT server, everything, like all my setup is now, I moved everything to Synology. Okay. Nginx, I use it for, it's a reverse proxy. किसी ने काम किया उस पे? Reverse proxy.
सुना है.
अच्छा. So I'm using this for example, I'll show it to you. You see homeserver.syedhumair.com. So I have this domain. I can just, this is the URL, I use it to route to my home, like to that Docker machine, right? So from the internet, it goes via my router, and I have port forwarding set up. It routes to my Docker container, which is running Home Assistant. And this is the path for that. और ये किस तरह manage हो रहा है? तो when I send a request, the request goes to my Nginx Docker, which is this one. Nginx, I'll show that to you. So Nginx is listening on port 8443, and the container is listening on 443. It receives this, but then it can, like, it's kind of a load balancer, you can say in simple terms. So it receives traffic on this. It offloads the SSL because I have SSL enabled. So if it offloads the SSL, and it routes towards the home assistance Docker image, which is running on 8123 port. So it just forwards the traffic to that. Now between my Nginx and my home assistant Docker container, then it communicates on the local network.
Sahi.
I hope it's not that complicated, but any questions? Confused तो नहीं हो गए?
नहीं, वो एक इतने आधे घंटे में एक ओवरव्यू ही मिल पाता है.
ये कंफ्यूज नहीं हुए, ये बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग नॉलेज है और मैं इसे thoroughly enjoy कर रहा हूँ.
That's good to know. अच्छा, तो इसके बाद जो NAS के ऊपर मैंने जो आपको ऑलरेडी मैंने दिखा दिया जो इंटरफेस है, उसके अंदर आई एम रनिंग ऑल दीज डिफरेंट डॉकर कंटेनर्स. Nginx is the front end, और फिर Nginx for Home Assistant, फिर Home Assistant talks to MQTT, it talks to MariaDB, it talks to Grafana, it talks to Influx Db. So Home Assistant talks to Influx DB, but then Grafana has the Influx DB as the data source. Okay, let's talk about, and of course the disk volumes are there as well on the NAS. Let's talk about comparison between containers and virtual machines. I'm sure you have worked with virtual machines, right?
Yes.
So this is, I just looked at docker.com. So I got this image. और इसमें जो comparison हो रहा है, I mean, normally they give this comparison of cattle versus pet. So VM is your pet. So अगर वो बीमार होता है, तो then you have to take it to the doctor and things like that. But Docker containers are like your cattle. अगर कोई बकरी बीमार होती है, तो then you just उसको ज़िबा करके कोई एक और आ जाती है. So that's the analogy that people give. I'm not sure if that's the right analogy, but that's the analogy that people gives. So in this case, it's the same logic. So अगर for example app A, ये आपका एक container है, is a sheep. तो अगर ये बीमार होती है, there is a problem, you just kill it, and then you spawn another one. That's it. और इसमें ये होता था कि यार अगर इसमें VM में कोई मसला आता था, then you have to fix it and things like that. It wasn't easy to just kill it and then start another VM. Cloning was a different process, but it took some time. But with containerization, it's very easy to just stop it, kill it, and respawn. So things like that. Or this was actually the infrastructure, then hypervisor, and then you had virtual machines on top of it. But in containerization, you have the operating system there. मतलब मेरे case में Synology is running its own operating system. उसके ऊपर मैंने Docker install किया, and then on Docker I'm running multiple containers. It's running in the same operating system, but logically separated using namespaces. Questions? अच्छा, टाइम कितना है हमारे पास?
है, मतलब हम तो नॉर्मली घंटे का सेशन रखते थे ना.
घंटे का? अच्छा,
लेकिन
सही है. ये I told you about my integration, जो कि it was here somewhere. This one. So this integration, Home Assistant is sending metrics to Influx Db, or Grafana is using that data as a data source. So let's look at my Grafana. So I can access that from my phone because it's on public URL. So homeserver.sayedhumair.com. So /Grafana, and it will bring me to this page. इसके ऊपर मैंने कुछ extra कुछ काम नहीं किया, but I'm getting all metrics. I can create a new kind of graph there. Right now, I'm just showing internet download kitna hai mera for during the last 7 days. Mean is just calculating the mean. I can change this to, I don't know, maybe an hour. So पिछले घंटे में download मेरा इतना MB per second था and things like that. So I think this refreshes every 2 hours. So let's see. I'll use 12 hours. So this shows me the whole period. How was my download speed and how was my upload speed. So I can see इस time में मैंने peak utilization थी मेरी around 4 MB per second, and you have some peaks there multiple times of the day. Apart from this, humidity as well versus temperature. So this is showing humidity, this is showing temperature in my house right now. Humidity मेरी 48% है और temperature मेरा 25%. And I told you I'm using Xiaomi sensors. So that is just recording the temperature and humidity readings and just sending it to my Home Assistant.
So Xiaomi is sending it to Home Assistant. Home Assistant is sending it to Influx Db.
Yes.
And then Grafana is using the data from Influx Db,
yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes. It's pretty simple. In Home Assistant, there is a tag called recorder. So in recorder, you just give the Influx Db path with username and password, and that's it. So it will automatically start sending things. But then when you configure your Grafana, your data source, so I configured this Influx Db data source. Once I configure this, मैं वापस आऊँगा इधर डैशबोर्ड पे और इधर मैं एक और बना लेता हूँ. For example, let's see क्या हो सकता है. Illumination I talked about initially. For example, मेरे घर में सेंसर कितनी लाइट कितनी है घर में, for example, and there are multiple sensors. I can basement में, bedroom 1, living room, stairs में, walk-in closet में. I have set up multiple sensors here. So every sensor, it costed me around $12. $12 का एक सेंसर मिलता है, लेकिन it runs on a small वो जो cells की होता है ना, वो जो I don't know what it's called, coin-shaped battery, right? Coin-shaped battery. So it runs on that. और मैंने अभी तक change नहीं किया. It's been around 3 years now. So the sensors are running and they're sending data. And it's calculating the illumination, but at the same time, this is not an illumination sensor. This is my presence sensor. So it will tell me someone is there or not. Like for example, this one, I'll show you here. You see these different presence. So right now there's no movement at all at my house. So no one is moving. So I just moved in my basement. So you see it's now it turned on.
Nice.
This is very nice.
At the same time, this one is also recording the illumination as well. So this sensor is great. Where is it? So now I have these different readings. So based on this, I can maybe create, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just changing. It's kind of a querying kind of thing. So you just change it and then it will automatically create something. You can change the visualization type as well to bars, for example, to points, and you can have both as well. Null value किस तरह उसको treat करना है, connect करना है या फिर null को as a zero treat करना है. तो connect करना है तो it just connects. You see there is a line connecting. ये null को as a zero कर दो. अगर recording नहीं है तो it will just stay as zero. Things like that. You can add multiple queries to it.
So why Influx DB? Why not like a MySQL?
MySQL is not a good database for time series.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Influx DB is the. So there are two options: Influx DB or Prometheus.
Okay. Yes.
Multiple options. I mean, let me see how many. Discard.
So these are integrations from With Grafana,
you see Prometheus,
right?
Graphite,
Okay.
Influx DB, Elasticsearch. It's like, oh, you can also create like integration with
Achha.
MySQL as well.
Okay.
But for time series, Influx DB is the best. And Postgres. In fact, CloudWatch as well, like Amazon, AWS, Azure, a lot of integrations. So it's pretty amazing.
And are these? I mean, Grafana I know is open source.
It
Is Influx DB also open source?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. So whatever I've used, everything is open source.
Other than Synology. Obviously.
Yeah.
That's where you pay the big bucks.
Exactly. Other than Synology. Other than that,
and Docker is also, I think, free to use for non-commercial purposes, right?
Exactly. So I have Docker repository as well. So you can change or create your own containers here, but I'm using the default ones. I just created these for my like testing initially. लेकिन ये है, then I also have a GitHub repository. GitHub repository मैं सिर्फ इस काम के लिए अभी एक repository मैंने बनाई है सिर्फ to store my this docker-compose file.
I mean, where are you storing your Home Assistant configuration? Is that this?
On Synology.
Achha. But that's not Synology. This, right?
So Synology I created. I created a volume, right? So I created a shared volume. और इसके ऊपर वो then it just writes and it's replicated as well. It's highly available. So it's been like maybe 1 year now. So far so good.
और MQTT के लिए क्या Mosquito है या Mosquito use कर रहे हो? Yeah, I see it. Yeah, okay.
It's Mosquito and MQTT. I'm using it for like exchanging messages.
And so you're running it your own Mosquito server.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. You can. I think in Home Assistant you can just like it will start its own process, but I'm just doing it outside of that.
I remember I had to set up a separate Mosquito server and then link Home Assistant to it.
Okay.
There's an integration for it.
I see. So in this case, I did like created another Docker container for that, और ये मेरा अभी तक setup है, and now for my IP changes, right? So my routing, I mentioned that I can route publicly on my domain.
तो ये domain किसके through है Humair?
हाँ, ये domain जो है, I just bought this domain, right? But this home server dot something, I am routing this to my public IP address at my home. So मेरी जो भी public IP होगा. लेकिन how do I identify कि यार ये IP तो change होता है? I haven't purchased a
static
like a fixed IP, static IP address, right? So how I did it, I'm using Cloudflare. So मेरा जो provider था, I can change my DNS to Cloudflare. So when you are using DNS on Cloudflare, so this is the interface for that, and I have, you see, it's this IP. So this is my home, my home public IP. It's not static. How I'm changing this? So I have a script for that. So Cloudflare provides you an API.
Wow.
And I'm using that. I'm running that every 1 hour, I guess. क्योंकि एक घंटे में अगर कुछ, I think 5 minutes, every 5 minutes. अगर 5 minutes में मेरा connectivity down हो जाती है, अगर IP change होता है, तो I don't care. I mean, इतना कोई बड़ा मसला नहीं होगा. So I'm running that, or I'm showing that somewhere here as well. Yeah, just show where is that? These are all my devices: Samsung TV, my office switch, and kids are watching. I don't know what this is. Dow Intense router as well, and this is my temperature. These are all my automations. So yeah, I've spent.
You've spent way too much time on it.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, this is not. I mean, you're making it sound easy, but this is a lot of work.
It was a good learning experience. I mean, it's worth it. I mean, I spent a lot of time, but it was worth it at the end of the day. So this is my setup.
Should it not be the Nginx which is doing that home service connection?
It is. So
Right.
this one, so for example, it will automatically, the API call will automatically check if my public IP has changed. If it's changed, it will update this DNS entry automatically.
Okay.
Right. So Home Assistant is running a script, right? So my internet is available, but it's just checking if my public IP has changed. As soon as it finds that it's changed, it will call this API for Cloudflare, which is available, and it will update this entry automatically. Now, as soon as this is up, now this will route towards my router, right? So the call will come to my router, which is somewhere here. Oops. So this is my router, right? So it will come here, but in the router itself, maybe I'll open that as well.
The router is called Valerie.
Yeah, I'm using Virgin Mobile. Yeah. Okay.
I want to know how you remember your router's password.
I changed it specifically.
Because it's not easy to remember these things.
Yeah. So you see here, so I have an SSH open to, this is the external port. So if I SSH to my public IP using this port, the internal port will be this, but then it goes to manager. Manager is my machine. Like it's my virtual machine. The virtual machine that I showed on Synology.
Right.
So I'm just using for SSH.
Achha.
So if someone logs into it and it gets hacked, I don't care. I mean, that's a virtual machine. They can do whatever they can. Everything, all the access across it is blocked. So, so that's that. But at the same time, HTTPS. This is for my this connection.
Yeah.
Right. So this is for HTTPS connection, and this is the external port, but this is the internal port, and this port
is the Home Assistant port, right?
No, it's the Nginx port.
Oh, okay.
You see, 8443.
Right, and then it sends it to 8000.
Exactly. When there is a configuration in Nginx that will route back to Home Assistant. Home Assistant का फिर इस port पे automatically reroute हो जाता है.
Nice.
And the same goes for Grafana as well. Nginx में मैंने 2 servers, I don't know what it's called, virtual servers. मैंने वो जिस तरह Apache का काम होता था पहले. You can use Apache as well, but I'm using Nginx for this purpose. HA proxy भी use हो सकती है, but Nginx is kind of popular these days.
Exactly.
So, okay.
So individual components पे कब presentation हो रही है?
You just tell me. Tell me which component you liked.
I'll be hounding you on all this a lot.
So,
this is incredible. Yeah. This is incredible.
Okay.
So very unrelated question, but I guess kind of related. How much was the Cloudflare domain for?
It's not Cloudflare. So my father wanted, he runs a consultancy business.
Achha, okay.
So he wanted to have like a website.
Achha, okay.
और मैं फिर पाकिस्तान में ढूंढ रहा था hoster PK. hosterpk.com.
Achha, so you bought your domain there.
So I bought for him, but then I said, it's cheap. I mean, it was around $20, I think, for the whole year.
Okay.
So it was cheap. I said, okay, I think I can get one as well.
Yeah. So that's a yearly fee, right?
Yearly, exactly.
And then
you can get it from Amazon as well. You have AWS.
I was just wondering.
Daddy, I don't know what's it called.
So GoDaddy.
GoDaddy, yeah.
Right. And then what's Cloudflare doing here?
Cloudflare is just the DNS provider.
It's the DNS provider.
क्योंकि मेरा जो use case मैंने बताया था कि automatically उसको क्योंकि it's not static, right? So I need to update this entry.
Yeah. And is there fee to Cloudflare?
No, this is free.
Okay.
This is free.
Okay.
And the best part with Cloudflare is that it also provides you caching as well.
Okay.
अगर for example आपका server down है तो it can provide you caching. But for my use case,
it doesn't matter.
क्योंकि
Like you need it.
Exactly. मेरे static website थोड़ी है, मतलब it's
exactly.
all my devices.
So,
but you can do caching and things like that. And the best thing is that it has an API available to update.
So Humair, overall कितने साल लगे, not even महीने, कितने साल लगे to come to this
whole
stage?
Setup? Initially, let me check when I started. So I started, I think in around 2017.
Okay, so 3 years.
Yeah.
That's
and
not
then,
bad. Even
but I changed a lot. The direction was changed a lot. Initially, I started with this thing, OpenHab.
Yes.
This is JavaScript. If you are a Java person,
no,
I recommend this.
No, I am a Java person, but not JavaScript.
It's similar.
I am sorry.
The name is similar.
Yeah, that's it. That's where the similarities are. It's not typed, man. It's not typed.
Yeah. So
I have a PhD in programming languages. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is an option. मैंने इसे start लिया था, लेकिन then I'm more of a Python person.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. No, this is incredible.
Okay.
I'm more excited about. I'm thinking basically what you've done already. That's all on my list of to-dos, plus the surveillance, because that also for fun mostly. I mean, I already have an ADT surveillance, but not video, because I wanted to do that myself. But it's basically this. I am still very scared of Docker.
You shouldn't be. It's
like my experience with Docker was very haphazard over 2 nights.
Really?
And I think I screwed up something. And then I couldn't access Home Assistant through the URL, and that was just annoying.
Okay.
Yeah,
anyways, I mean, that's, you can always ping me and I can help you out.
Now I will for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. I might just. You're in Montreal, right?
Yes.
I might just show up there. It's been a while since I came to Montreal, anyways.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime, sir. कभी भी आ सकते हैं. बाकी सारे चुप हैं.
नहीं मैं तो this is beyond me right now. This is gone over me. मतलब this is very extensive. मैं तो बहुत ही basic level पे हूँ अभी. मेरा ख्याल है शुएब को अगर कुछ होंगे किसी लेवल पे तो
मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ कि मैं क्या क्या कर सकता हूँ अगर जिंदगी में कभी टाइम मिला तो.
हाँ, टाइम अगर मिला तो क्या क्या कर सकता हूँ, ये भी एक अच्छा सवाल है. हाँ.
I think the lesson is to start small with one project at a time, right?
Exactly. और ये मैंने किया है. मतलब एक छोटा मतलब started with Home Assistant, वो किया, फिर मैंने sensors पे काम किया, but then I moved on to integrating with like publicly accessible. पहले सिर्फ मैं IP based था, घर से ही access हो सकता था, but things like that. So you can improve on your solution. So ये scene है.
Good हो गया यार, मेरे ख्याल है I think we are good for today. Any other questions? See, Imran just joined in. Imran, आपका कोई question? नहीं है. चलें, we can proceed. तो
sorry, mute पे था. I mean, it's I actually joined a little late, so मुझे I haven't seen the entire presentation. अगर आप slide deck share कर सके, then that would be really helpful.
I wonder if this was being recorded.
Recording तो थी.
Yeah, I want a copy of this recording because this is incredible.
ठीक है, मैं आपको फिर भेज दूंगा. ठीक है. तो हाँ, so that thank you so much Humair for your time. इंशाल्लाह फिर दोबारा रखेंगे, फिर तफसील में मेरा ख्याल है डीप डाइव करते हैं किसी और दिन. ठीक है. Thank you जी.
Select करें जो भी services आपको चाहिए.
चलें. Good stuff.
Deep dive on those services.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Humair.
Thank you.
No problem. Allah Hafiz.